So somebody put you in a situation where you just had no choice but to smear feces all over a door. Do you have any empathy for your victims of your crimes?
What does that mean?
I'm sorry, say that again.
What does that mean? Cause I don't understand.
So do you feel bad for what you've done to these other people? And I am aware of your federal conviction for homicide or murder that you served a lot of time in.
I was, well, I came out of the Fed. I did 29 years in the Fed and I just got out and I feel like I was being disrespected in the county jail.
Okay. So you chose to rush another inmate, attack him, and continue fighting because you felt you were disrespected?
Yes, this is my home for the rest of my life. What do you expect me to do? I mean, out there, I don't have a life. Okay? I just want to do my time. I want to be left alone.
Well, I hate to tell you, people are not going to leave you alone in prison.
I've been in prison 29 years. You got to understand, man. This is the only life I know. My life was in, excuse me about my language. I'm institutionalized. I'm sorry. Sorry to say that. If you was in my situation, you would understand, but you're not. So, promise you nothing because I would be lying to myself and I'm not going to do that to myself. You know what I'm saying? I understand. I have a history of violence. This is my home for the rest of my life. What do you expect me to do? I mean, out there, I don't have a life. Okay? In here, the only life I get fed 3 times a day. I get showered. I don't have to pay for that. It's the only life I live. So.
Now, we are about to watch the parole hearing for a Utah man who killed his grandmother back in 1992. Now, he stabbed his 70-year-old grandmother over 40 times. But listen to this. That's not what this parole hearing is about, because you see, he has already been paroled for killing his grandmother, or I should say he got out on his full term date. It was a federal sentence because the killing happened on a reservation. But while out, he stabbed another man, and that's why he's locked up today. As a matter of fact, he has 4 stabbing victims. You see, when he was waiting trial for stabbing and killing his grandmother, he attacked a Ch0m0. It happens. But while he's locked up now, again, he picked up victim number 3 when he was out on parole, and now locked up, he picked up victim number 4. Lady Holly actually nicknamed him Stabby Stabby. Now there are some reasons as to maybe why he is this way, and we can get into that in the unpacking. We have appeals, we have news reports, so there's a lot to get into here. But it is crazy to think that regardless of what happens in this parole hearing today, this man will get out of prison one day in his 60s. A man who has already attempted to kill 3 people and killed his own grandmother. How come the system cannot keep the public safe from those who kill? Anyways, I'll unpack it with the details at the end.
Yeah.
Perfect.
On record.
So this is a time and place scheduled for an original hearing for Adrian Ducci, offender number 56084. Is that you, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. My name is Charlotte Parrott, and I'm a hearing officer with the Utah Board of Pardons and Parole. I'm going to be the one who's conducting your hearing today. I am going to be taking some testimony from you, so I do need to swear you in. So if you'll please, to the best of your ability, raise your right hand for me. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay, thank you for that, sir. Did you receive at least 7 days written notice of today's hearing? And did you receive your blue disclosure packet from the board?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, did you have a chance to review that information?
Yes, ma'am.
Were there any obvious errors in that document that we need to discuss before we get started?
Oh, ma'am.
Okay, thank you for that, sir. So this is your original hearing in regards to 2 convictions. You've been convicted of aggravated assault, a 3rd-degree felony in case 221700126, and you've been convicted of aggravated assault by a prisoner, a 2nd-degree felony in case 221700161. Do you have any questions about those offenses, sir?
No, ma'am.
Okay, so currently your matrix or your guideline is at 32 months, with your guideline date being 4/13 of 2025, with your maximum expiration or the longest that the board could potentially hold you in custody is up until 8/13 of 2042. Just so you're aware with your guideline date, that is not a date that is set in stone. That's a starting date for the board to look at potentially releasing you. What they have to do is they have to look at a variety of factors when determining at what time and under what circumstances they're going to choose to release you back into the community. Do you have any questions about that, sir?
No, ma'am.
Okay, so let's start talking, or let's start the hearing by talking about your offenses. So walk me through the aggravated assault that happened in the community. What occurred there?
Oh, well, it was just a communication, that's all.
A miscommunication. The guy was, your victim was seriously injured. So how's that a miscommunication?
Well, we were both drunk. So no one knows what happened.
Okay, so you have no recollection of stabbing your victim?
Huh?
So you have absolutely no recollection of stabbing your victim?
No.
Okay. So let's talk about the aggravated assault by a prisoner. What happened there?
Well, I was, well, I came out of the Fed. I done 29 years in the Fed and I just got out. And I feel like I was being disrespected in the county jail.
Okay. So you chose to rush another inmate, attack him, and continue fighting because you felt you were disrespected?
Yes.
Okay. And I am aware of your federal conviction for homicide or murder that you served a lot of time in. Why were you unsuccessful in the community in such a quick period of time after being released from the federal system?
Well, I was out there doing, like, I wasn't getting in trouble, but it's just the guy I was hanging around with.
Okay, what could you have done better?
Well, I was trying to get, when my mom had passed, all my family passed away, and the only one I was taking care of was my niece. That's the only one I was staying with at the time on the reservation.
Do you have any empathy for your victims of your crimes?
What does that mean?
I'm sorry, say that again.
What does that mean? Cause I don't understand.
So do you feel bad for what you've done to these other people? Do
Yes,
you
yes, I have, because I'm not that kind of person, and I'm sorry for doing it, and I'm a better person now, and it's just like, I just got out of prison, and I just like been around my people and, you know, I didn't think that this was gonna happen this way.
Well, so you have to look at it from an outsider's viewpoint. So you say that you're a better person. You were in prison for 29 years for murder. You get out, you stab a person, come to prison, attack another person, and then you have ongoing disciplinary violations that have left you in maximum housing and in isolation. So how is the board to believe that you're a better person?
Why, you gotta understand, I've been in prison 29 years and I never got a chance to adapt to society yet. You know, it's kind of a little bit too fast for me. And so I don't know how to explain that, man, because, you know,
Okay, but you did get a chance to be in the community and you stabbed a person and came back to prison. So you were given an opportunity to be in the community and to prove yourself. Then you chose to get drunk and stab a person. And then you have been given an opportunity in prison to change your behavior. Then you attacked another inmate. And then you have continued to engage in disciplinary violations throughout your incarceration. So how is the board to believe that you have made any sort of change that is going to make you a good candidate to be released into the community?
I don't know, man. I can't speak on that. That's you guys' thing, not mine. So I don't know. I mean,
So since you've been in custody, you have had 15 disciplinary violations. Some of those are alarming. They involve assaults, weapons, substance abuse. Most recently, you were in the infirmary and you smeared feces all over your cell door. These are really egregious actions that you are showing while incarcerated. Well, what do you have to say about that, sir?
well, you gotta understand, some of these staffs I don't even like. They play too much game. They put me in situations. So what do you expect me to do?
So somebody put you in a situation where you just had no choice but to smear feces all over a door.
Because they lied to me and told me I was gonna get out of the infirmary, and then the psych said he was gonna get me out, and then he never came back. And then someone else, you know, I don't appreciate being lied to, because that's not my way to lie to you. So if you want respect, then I'm gonna give you that respect, but I don't expect them to lie to me. That's not cool, you know what I'm saying?
But you're in a situation where your every action is going against you. Your continued outbursts and egregious behavior is going to continue to keep you incarcerated. So do you understand that at this point, you're your own worst enemy, sir?
Yeah.
So why are you choosing to react negatively towards circumstances that are beyond your control?
All I want is people to leave me alone. That's all. I've been in prison 29 years. I'm not used to the state stuff. The feds is different than this. So I don't know, like here, I don't know, the rules is different. So I like, really, I just don't, I just want to do my time. I want to be left alone.
Well, I hate to tell you, people are not going to leave you alone in prison. So the prison staff's not going to leave you alone. The workers are not going to leave you alone. There are rules and regulations that you have to follow while you're in custody. And it's your responsibility and your responsibility alone to understand what those are. Do you understand that, sir? Have you been able to participate in any sort of programming since you've been in custody for the state of Utah?
I've been going to school before I was in church. I was going to school.
Okay, and were you able to finish any of your education programs?
Well, no. No, because I got locked back. I got locked up. Didn't get a chance to finish it.
What do you think that you can do going forward to better your situation?
I don't know.
Do you think that maybe it'd be a good idea to start with some good behavior?
Yeah, I guess so.
So, because I will tell you honestly that at this point, there's not a whole lot of positive going on with you. And I want you to flip that around and show yourself and the board that you can follow the rules and regulations, maintain control of yourself, actively participate in some meaningful programming, and show the board that you are at some point eligible for another opportunity or a future opportunity to be back in the community, which is what you desire. Can you try to work on that, sir?
Yeah, I guess so.
Because if not, I mean, it's a long time until 2042. You know, and that's the maximum time that the board can hold you with your charges as they are today. And so, you know, I
Well,
highly,
I'm like this. If I gotta do all this time, then what's the use? I don't need to participate in nothing. You see? But you're gonna hold me that long, then I've been in prison 29 years. You gotta understand, man. This is the only life I know. My life is fucking, excuse me about my language, but my life, I'm institution life. I'm sorry to say that. If you was in my situation, you would understand, but you're not. So, you know, so my family's gone and this only life I know. So, um, I don't know what to say about that. I can't tell you one, like, I can't promise you nothing because I would be lying to myself and I'm not gonna do that to myself. You know what I'm saying? I understand, um, I have a history of violence. I have problems, you know what I'm saying? I have a serious problem. Ever since my mom left, I have nobody. So this is life. I mean, this is my home. I don't have one. This is my home for the rest of my life. What do you expect me to do? I don't, I mean, out there, I don't have a life. Okay? In here, the only life I get fed 3 times a day. I get a shower. I don't have to pay for that. It's the only life I live. So,
okay. And I understand your perspective, sir, and I'm more than happy to let the board know that. Is there anything else that you would like the board to know at this time? Okay, just so you're aware, as the hearing officer, I don't make any of the release decisions. It's my responsibility to write up a huge report for our board panel. That includes what's in your blue disclosure packet and what's been discussed today. Our board is made up of 5 members that have been appointed by the governor of Utah. All of our decisions require a majority vote. So at least 3 of those 5 board members have to agree on a conclusion before your decision is finalized. Because of that process, our decisions are not immediate. Our decisions typically take anywhere from 2 to 4 weeks. But as soon as they do reach that decision, they'll send you a letter through inmate mail that outlines what the board's decision is, so you can start making your plans of however it's going to be that you're going to choose to move forward. Okay?
all right.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir. And I'll go ahead and conclude your hearing.
Wait. It may not surprise you to know that he was denied parole, but he's given a rehearing in 5 years, and it's just crazy to me. Think about this. When he got out of prison for, what was now his stabbing 2 victims, his grandmother and then the Ch0m0, he then picked up the assault charge in Utah, where he only received a sentence 0 to 5 years, a maximum release date of 2027. right? So he'd be getting out no matter what in 2 years. This is how Utah views safety, views protecting those who are clearly incredibly dangerous. It was only his assault by prisoner while he was locked up that got him a 1 to 15 years. He got a longer sentence for what he did in prison, which makes the expiration date of 2042. And here it is. You can see they're doing a rehearing on 04/2030 in 5 more years. They want him to do a psych review, and that's it. Wait, they also want him to do a substance abuse program. Now, I just want you to think about that for a second. Think about we have the information that a DA and a judge would have had. They would have known that this man stabbed his grandmother to death 40 times, threatened to kill the girl that saw it, when in prison, attacked a Ch0m0, then gets out and stabs his buddy, which he claims he can't remember anything, and they still only gave him 5 years. How does that make sense? And then while in prison, he has access to more people to hurt. Anybody who does not have a PhD, who does not work in government, can see that this is crazy. Some people in our society cannot walk amongst us. Now, there might be some reasons for it. His upbringing, he said that he was born, Lady Holly has in the notes, where I think he was, very unfortunate, born with, I think, alcohol syndrome or something. I forget the name for it. She has it, so I'll go over it. I'll be more precise, and that affects well, yeah. So but it's up to those in charge of us to now deal with this situation. Ew. The more that you watch these parole hearings, it's like, like I say, it's like getting under the hood of a state. It's like truly understanding how things work. The more you realize that the people who are running the show, they're nuts. They're dangerous. They're clueless. And I'm not blaming this parole board interviewer. She's just an interviewer. She has to go through the red tape and the bureaucracy of asking the questions. I'm talking about the judges and the DAs that would not have at this point thrown the book at him, not to punish him, but to protect the community. He cannot be rehabilitated. He cannot. There is no guarantee that he will not kill again. Far from it. I feel that there is a guarantee, almost as far as you can say, that he will, if released. And probably he'll have more victims in prison. I'm just guessing. And keep him, we just have to remember that unless he picks up new felonies, which he very may well, he may do it intentionally, he's going to get out when he's, 71 years old? Young enough to hold a knife. Now, we can go over the information. This case is quite well documented. Thank you, Lady Holly, for pulling it up. Let me actually share with you Holly's notes. It's quite I enjoy it. So this is how it goes. Okay. So this is Holly's words. I wish I could get I don't know why the text is like this. It's not perfect. It's like the Google thing that we're using. Okay, it's good enough. Now it's good. So here, this is from Holly, and think about she's from Australia, so think about it in an Aussie accent. So here's the thing. Maybe I'm having a weird day, but I almost feel sorry for him because he's basically institutionalized and says that. What stops me is that, he keeps killing people and getting stabby, and that takes away the sympathy. I love it's the dry Aussie humor. But if I ignore his stabby inclinations, it would be sad. And then it goes, okay, I wrote this before I read his crimes. Sympathy gone now. And that's the thing. You can watch hearings without context, but when you have the backstory, it just throws a wrench in it. It's like, holy cow. But again, my anger is not towards like the crazy man. Like this guy is nightmare potion, right? What's the one I'm looking for? He is everything that nightmares are made of. Imagine being his celly. Imagine being a Ch0m0 on his block. Well, I don't know. I mean, you know what? So, I'm not, you know, but you know what I'm saying? Holy cow, the guy is scary. Imagine bumping into him in the public in a dark alley at night. So, so he stabbed his grandma to death, stabbed an inmate, and attempted to murder him while going through the trial, and stabbed a friend in the Utah case. So, okay, a little is coming back. Turns out he has that's what it is called, fetal alcohol syndrome, and is intellectually disabled. However, extremely violent person. Yeah, which is the bottom line. And so he gets out, I guess, in 2020 because in 2020 he has an assault charge, and maybe they charged him later, or he got out on bond, because 5/18/2020 is burglary, criminalship, intoxication. 7/13/2020 spies. Well, that's not going to help. And assault. So it seems even while he's out, keep in mind, while he's out, but I guess he you know what, he wouldn't have been on parole. He would have been just straight up out. So they wouldn't have revoked him or anything, but he picks up a charge. I do wonder the date that he got out, how long he lasted before his first charge. So he gets assault, he gets burglary, intoxication, to a month and something later. So maybe he got some jail for this. He gets this and another assault. And then 9/1/2021, he gets use of possession of finalia, shoplifting, refusal to provide information. 9/1/2021, just in the short time he's out, he goes on this type of spree, this type of crime spree, use of possession, retail theft, and I guess then he got the assault. He got the 0 to 5 years, and then in prison he gets the next charge. So crime 3, so we go down. So crime 1 is his grandmother. Crime 2 is the Ch0m0. I agree. I don't feel sympathy. We can even go through what that's kind of Ch0m0 is. Crime 3, 2022, based on identified documents, but he stabbed his friend for unknown reasons. 0 to 5 years. Crime 4 was another person's, which was the 1 to 15. And then we can go through, let's just go through this news article. So victim's grandson sentenced 27 years in fatal stabbing. Adrian, who was 23 at the time, had been sentenced to 27 years, and he said he did 29, so I'm guessing he got 2 more years for the Ch0m0 thing. And the slashing of his 70-year-old grandmother. U.S. District Judge David Ch0m handed down the sentence Wednesday and said that there would be no possibility of parole. You know, remember, he did a full term federal sentence. Dutchie's mother, like Dutchie, abused beverages and was the victim of syndrome, which has left him with a temper that he cannot control. He is acting out of infirmity that is not of his choosing, Savage said, asking Sam to consider treatment options. He has shown propensity towards violence, even in highly structured environments, no kidding, without being under the influence of booze, said Sam, referring to recent razor blade incident in Salt Lake City jail. That's the Ch0m0 thing. Assistant U.S. Attorney Wayne Dance sought a life sentence to protect society. And he's right. He's right. This dude's right. The defendant continues to be an extremely violent individual, Dan said, one who poses the greatest hazard to the community that someone can pose. Dutchie killed Jenny, his grandmother, during a visit to her white Mesa home on October 9th in 1992. Dutchie and his grandmother were both drinking some booze when the woman teased him about his wife's infidelities. So his grandmother teased him about his wife's infidelities. Savage said that enraged Dutchie. Shoving her to the floor, he took a butcher knife from the kitchen and began slashing, but remembers nothing. Sorry, but to do this to your own grandmother because of an insult? The medical examiner counted more than 40 stab wounds, mostly to her back, and defensive wounds to her hands and arms. Dutchie then threatened a 16-year-old girl who witnessed it. Can you imagine witnessing that? He fled to his nearby home, where he changed clothes and hid the bloody knife. Right, so he is aware enough and conscious enough to try to hide the crime. They found him within a few hours, and he admitted the killing. The crime was prosecuted in federal court because it occurred at the reservation. I know I was wrong for what I did, Dutchie told the judge. I wish I could get some help for my booze problem. I feel good that I haven't had any booze for a long time. Sam said Dutchie's behavior in jail has shown little promise of rehabilitation despite the absence of his booze. Dutchie was charged with attempted red rum after slashing a fellow inmate with a razor blade in September and March second incident. He was found again with a knife made from razor and a toothbrush, aka shank. Guards had to wrestle him to the floor after he refused to give up the weapon. And this is the article. Again, thank you, Lady Holly, for pulling all this for the Ch0m0 thing. Let's see what this is. So, a man held in Salt Lake County Jail in connection with the 1992 murder faced second-degree felony charges for slashing the neck and arms of another inmate. Adrian, who was 23 at the time, was charged Monday with attempted homicide or aggravated assault by a prisoner. And this is the thing. I think he only got 2 years for this. But of course, they had the opportunity now. If they wanted, the judge gave him 27 years. They could have locked him up from, but no, it's okay. Let's let him back out. On 26-year-old E. Spencer in jail on charges of essay. Well, I guess, you know what, maybe they took a light on him because of who this victim was. I don't blame them. You never know. You never know. Someone can get rehabilitated. Clearly he hasn't, though. Unlawful intercourse and possession of narcotics of paraphernalia. Dutchie told investigators that he was upset about Spencer's alleged crimes. He admitted that he assaulted Spencer and intended to kill him. A Salt Lake County Sheriff report says a confession of Dutchie's actions was recorded at the jail, and he was informed of possible attempted murder charges. Dutchie told the detectives that he wanted to be transferred out of the jail because he doesn't relate to others and fears he will try to kill again. They didn't sentence him. He didn't get more than 2 years for him. Anyways, Spencer suffered extensive razor cuts to his neck, arm, and at least one of which was near his jugular. He said he first had trouble with Dutchie after lunch when the man known as Chief approached him, called him a baby and ordered him to his bunk, according to the report. Dutchie allegedly threw Spencer into a bunk and struck him repeatedly in the face and walked towards the television telling the other inmates, "I'm just getting warmed up." 10 minutes later, he returned with another inmate in a blanket sheet tied to look like a rope. Spencer was rolled over and he recalled someone saying, "Wait, tie up his arms." It's very rare that we read the Ch0m0 assault stories. We just don't. You don't hear about them that much. So this is a time capsule. He told investigators that Dutchie was on his back, telling him, "I'm going to kill you. I'm going to cut you good." Spencer was cut on the neck and right arm. Then Dutchie allegedly dropped the razor and grabbed Spencer around the neck, choking him until he was unconscious. Spencer recalled that he woke and noticed blood on Dutchie's shoes. Dutchie made him wash the blood from his shoes and approached him again an hour later in the record saying, "I got you pretty good. I cut you pretty bad, didn't I?" Report says, wow, whatever prison jail they were in 1993, the idea that even an hour later he still has access to him in the rec yard, you did not want to be in this jail, it seems. Holy cow. On the return from the yard, supervisor noticed Spencer's wounds and the inmate was taken to the jail's medical section. Dutchie, a federal prisoner, has been incarcerated in numerous jails and prisons before being transferred to Salt Lake Jail. U.S. Marshals officer said information about the 92 murder was not available. So there you have it, a real time capsule to the past. He will have another parole hearing in 5 years, just going through the motions. We can't expect anything different. I imagine he may even have new felonies, but the idea that he still could get out is nuts. But I guess we just have to say we're lucky he didn't kill anyone as soon as he got out. But this is it. I think this is important for people to see. For anyone who thinks there are some people who just need to be out of the general public. And with that, and to his credit, he knows it. And with that, I'll let you go.
Do you have any empathy for your victims of your crimes?
What does that mean?
I'm sorry, say that again.
What does that mean? Cause I don't understand.
So do you feel bad for what you've done to these other people? And I am aware of your federal conviction for homicide or murder that you served a lot of time in.
I was, well, I came out of the Fed. I did 29 years in the Fed and I just got out. And I feel like I was being disrespected in the county jail.
Okay. So you chose to rush another inmate, attack him, and continue fighting because you felt you were disrespected?
Yes, this is my home for the rest of my life. What do you expect me to do? I mean, out there, I don't have a life. Okay? I just want to do my time. I want to be left alone.
Well, I hate to tell you, people are not going to leave you alone in prison.
I've been in prison 29 years. You gotta understand, man. This is the only life I know. My life was in, excuse me about my language. I'm institutionalized. I'm sorry. Sorry to say that. If you was in my situation, you would understand, but you're not. So, promise you nothing because I would be lying to myself and I'm not gonna do that to myself. You know what I'm saying? I understand. I have a history of violence. This is my home for the rest of my life.